everybody, and welcome to the Tree of Life, Astrology, and Tarot. My name is Debbie Cassidy, and I'm here to give you your forecast for the week beginning November 21st. Alrighty, the overall theme for this current week is all about duality. It's going to be a push and pull between your higher self and your lower self. To start off with, before I get into this reading, I have heard from a lot of people that the year of 2016 has been a rough one. It's been pretty rough for most of us. And then for some of us, it has actually been a pretty good year. But as we start to go into 2017, we have some very different energies and very different aspects to look forward to. And some of those aspects actually start this week. So let me clue you in and let's get started. First of all, the high note of this particular week is the sun has finally moved out of Scorpio. Now, I don't mean to have that sound like a negative type of thing, but let's face it. During the last 3 or 4 weeks, we have been dealing a lot with our inner selves, inner truth, having to answer some questions about ourselves as well as what's been going on in our outer world. It's been bringing a lot of really ugly things to the surface, and we're about to see some of those energies change, finally. So as we were in the sign of Scorpio, or our sun was in the sign of Scorpio, all that inner truth, deep inner truth that we've been looking for, as far as asking a lot of questions, are now starting to subside. As we go into Sagittarius, it's a much lighter, freer type of feel that we're going to feel over the next 3 to 4 weeks. And starting this week, as we go into Thanksgiving, at least here in America, that's actually a very good thing. So what is Sagittarius about? First of all, I want to wish everybody who is a Sagittarius a very happy birthday. You've got a very busy month ahead as far as your sign is concerned, and I'm going to try and get into this as quickly as possible without having this video run too long, but I can tell you there's a lot going on over these next 7 days, so let me get to this. So Sagittarius, it's all about understanding our connections with others. It's all about the big picture, being able to step back and get the bird's eye view of what's going on around us, as well as within ourselves. Sagittarius represents inner wisdom, a higher consciousness and truth. There's going to be a lot of enthusiasm and focus on the good things. That's what makes it so much lighter to get into. It's a positive outlook towards the future. You will notice lots of uplifting conversations, just in time for Thanksgiving here in America, as we spend much time with our families. And maybe not. Maybe you're spending time alone. But you're going to notice the conversations over this coming week are going to be a lot more uplifting and more fun. So, here's the big deal. We have a major aspect coming up this coming week. Just when we thought we were going to get some relief, we have another new aspect coming up. And this is a big one. We have Jupiter, our planet of expansion, getting ready to square Pluto, our planet of the underworld, the dark side. So it's basically the big, huge planet meets the little tiny planet. What does that mean for us? In general, Jupiter is all about expansion, optimism, growth, prosperity, and joy. It also rules money, our financial institutions. Pluto is the underworld, what's hidden that we cannot see. Relationships are magnified, indulgence, over-the-top types of things are to be expected this coming week. In fact, with Jupiter squaring up with Pluto, conversations as well as situations can get completely blown out of proportion. So you may want to be careful with that as you're conversing with others, and you will also start to see it in our media. They may take the truth and just completely blow it out of proportion. So it's all about trying to regulate those kinds of energies. From now all the way into 2017, we're going to see these energies follow us with this Jupiter square Pluto as of this week. all the way until probably the month of August in 2017. So that's your first hint as to what we can expect in the upcoming year. So with things being blown out of proportion, secrets are also going to be revealed. That's what Pluto is all about, digging up those secrets and getting them up to the surface so that we can all deal with them and find better solutions. And Jupiter's just going to push that and expand that to huge proportions as we see Jupiter starting to square Pluto. You're also going to notice under this influence, especially in this coming year in our outer world, globally, so to speak, it's going to be all about social justice. Being Jupiter also oversees money and the law. We're going to see, and of course Jupiter is still in Libra at the moment, so with Jupiter still sitting in Libra, all about balance, harmony, finding justice, we're going to find social justice is going to be a huge thing going into 2017, and we're already seeing that now. We're already starting to see those types of effects. So it's going to be that duality, that higher self, lower self. It's going to be about suppression or repression. And we're already starting to see a revolution happening globally regarding some of these topics. Don't be surprised if you start to see changes in how money is distributed throughout the world. Our first signal has been what's going on with the currency in India currently. Citigroup has decided not to take cash anymore. That's just scratching the surface of some of the justices that we're going to see regarding our financial institutions over this coming year under this Jupiter square Pluto influence. So some things to look out for and look forward to possibly in 2017 as we start to see some restructuring in our financial institutions. Right after Jupiter squares Pluto, and this, by the way, is happening on the 24th, but you can start to see some of these influences already starting to happen. On the 25th, we have Venus getting in on the mix. That will also be conjuncting Pluto. So you're going to see or feel some very intense emotions or feelings will start to surface. At this point, you may feel a little bit of restlessness. Because you want more freedom, but at the same time you want to keep the status quo. So again, it's that push-pull duality type of situations that we're going to be feeling over this coming week. Venus conjuncting Pluto is also going to bring to the surface everything that we love. The family we love, the hobbies we love, what we love about our work, what we love about ourselves, what we love about each other. So during this time, you'll also see little nuggets of info starting to come to the surface as far as our media is concerned and what's going on in our direct world that's affecting us. Little nuggets of information that are going to give us clues as to what may be coming up in the year 2017. Another big aspect is Neptune. There's Neptune, our dreamy planet, starts to go direct. It was retrograde since March, I believe, this last year, if I'm correct. I don't have that in my notes here, so I can't look back on that. It's been in retrograde for quite a while now. So being it's a dreamy planet, it's been all about having our rose-colored glasses on. We're not quite seeing the clarity or the truth in things. And now, Neptune is going direct. Now, this planet takes 160 days to make its full circle. So being it's going direct, it's not going to happen real quickly. In fact, when a planet has been in retrograde and is getting ready to go direct, it actually goes stationary for a little while. So it kind of sits in a stationary spot. And that can happen for several weeks at a time before it finally gets the energy to start pushing forward. But I'm here to let you know what some of those energies are going to be like when it is pushing forward. So right now, we're taking off our rose-colored glasses, so to speak, now that Neptune is moving forward. It currently has made things very unclear. There's been a lot of confusion, indecisiveness, not being able to really see what's going on around us. And now that Neptune is starting to go direct, it's going to bring that clarity back to us. We're going to finally be able to take off those rose-colored glasses and see situations for what they really are. This is all about pulling up the truth. And that is going to be very evident globally in our society around us over the next several months as Neptune starts to go direct. So there's going to be certain points where you're not going to be so sure you believe everything you hear. Be very careful of what you say and how you say it, as people can take you in a whole different perspective while Neptune is in this stationary, about to go direct type of pattern. On a personal level, it can also increase your imagination, your creativity. It will help you push for that ideal life, what you would really like to see or what you really want for yourselves. So this is actually a very positive aspect, and this particular aspect will happen on Thanksgiving Day, believe it or not. And so will Venus conjuncting Pluto. So the way I look at it, Thanksgiving Day is probably going to be one of our best days of the week, as well as our biggest shopping day of the year on Black Friday. This also means, with this Jupiter square Pluto type of influence, watch how much you spend. All of that may be expanded. You may want to indulge yourself. You may want to go after that spendy little expensive item. You may want to overspend for Christmas. But it puts us in a happy and a jovial type of mood, both Thursday and Friday of this week, going into Thanksgiving, and of course going into the biggest shopping day of the year, at least here in America, with a lot of joy, a lot of bounty, and a lot of prosperity. We'll be feeling very good about ourselves, which is a good thing. I would just say, just watch your wallet. You may want to spend more than what you actually intended to go out and spend. Alrighty. I'm going to back up for a minute, because on the 23rd we have Mercury that meets Saturn. This is basically our reality check. Mercury, that talkative little planet, also a very logical type of planet, is going to run right over into Saturn, and it's going to be very strong this week. It'll be a focused, very stable type of energy. It will also create some very rigid thinking, structured type thinking. So that's going to put a little bit of a twist on things this coming week. It's also going to be speaking to Uranus. So group discussions and movement will also be an energy that we feel this coming week. Now, on the 26th of this month, we have the moon in Scorpio, and Mercury with Sagittarius will be trining Uranus. Okay, I know this gets very complicated. So on the 26th, with all of these weird little aspects going on, it may feel like a really funky kind of a day. You just might feel like you're in a funk. You may feel yourself going into like victim mode, like everything's affecting you and you can't get anything right, or you just might be sulking a little bit in the corner. But this is an aspect, of course, that will be passing here really soon. So try and keep yourself positive during this funky feeling that you may be having on the 26th. And maybe you're feeling all funky because your wallet's empty. You spent so much money the day before. So it won't last long. By the 27th, you're going to get out of that funk and starting to feel a little more normal. All right. I talked about Mars in Aquarius in my last video, and it's still there. And we are all going to start this feeling of connectedness to each other. We are all connected, actually. But the overall thinking for the next several weeks is going to be for the good of all. And definitely looking into the future, big push to the future. So you're going to find yourself thinking in that direction, thinking more about your future, which is something we do a lot of anyway as we start to get to the end of a year and looking forward to what's happening in our new year in 2017. So, a little advice for you. Get your shopping done early, at least before the 19th of December, as our lovely planet, Mercury, will be going retrograde. Yes, he does this at least 2 or 3 times a year, and he's about to go retrograde on the 19th. However, he starts to go into his own shadow by the 1st of December. So the sooner you can get your Christmas shopping done, especially for items like electronics, any futuristic type items, games, that kind of thing, try and get those bigger, spendier type of items taken care of ahead of time before the 19th. Little friendly advice for you: once Mercury goes retrograde, you may find that the gifts you give to people they aren't going to want, they're going to return, and vice versa. You may be receiving gifts that you're going to want to return. So, just saying, try and get some of that done. Try not to sign any important contracts or paperwork after the 19th of December. You may want to wait until the first, second week of January when Mercury starts to move direct again. Let's see. Another big point, which is coming up at the very end of the week on the 29th, is we get a new moon in Sagittarius. Hallelujah. So, what this does, it helps us set new intentions. What a fabulous time of the year to start doing that. So, if you look back to the eclipses that happened in September, we had a couple of them, look back and just see how far you have come since the September eclipse. And the reason I'm telling you this is the new moon in Sag kind of mimics that, or is going to mirror what has happened during the eclipses in September. So, how much progress have you made? How optimistic are you looking towards the future? Be open to your inner truth, inner wisdom. And whatever you do, don't rely on the outer world to find the truth for you or to set your truths for you. Rely on your own truth. And this is a theme that you're going to hear me saying over and over and over again, probably for the next 6 months, as we have all these strange little planetary aspects pulling out the truths in other people. But at the same time, be wary of what you hear, what you say, what you're reading. Not everything you hear or say is going to be true, and these aspects are going to be sticking with us for a little while. But this new moon in Sag is a good thing. It's all about setting your new intentions, your wishes, your dreams, your hopes, your goals. This is the time to start looking at those things and how you're going to focus and accomplish those things in the upcoming months. Alrighty, Jupiter will also be opposing Uranus. It's like a eureka moment. This is when you're really going to hit home and realize your own individuality. And it's going to be about our individualities as going into 2017, another ongoing theme as we go into a new year. So, in summary, this week, you're going to feel an urge for freedom, an urge for getting out and doing something differently. You're going to want to own your truth. You're going to want to feel that liberation. You want to strike out against the current system and follow more of a communal way of life, a community way of doing things. And this is just going to become more and more obvious and more intense, not only with ourselves and our personal lives, but also in our society. We, in general, are wanting to move together to unify in more of a communal type of state. And this is definitely what the underlying theme is going to be going into 2017 and 2018. So you're going to start to feel those types of feelings a lot more over the next few months, and you're going to start to see it around you in our society. We already are. So it's all about the big picture as we go into 2020. It's the birth of a new consciousness. That's what's so exciting. This intense feeling of chaos and what's true and what's not is going to carry with us, at least until we get into January, February. But at the same time, with this intense feeling of what's true and what's not, that same type of feeling is going to help us galvanize our path to freedom, dreams, and new inspiration for a better life going into 2020. A whole new birth of consciousness as a people is going to start to awaken all of us, and we will see incredible growth over the next 4 years. However, the craziness is not over yet, but it will start to get easier as we go into 2017. And the reason I say that is we have been through some really difficult aspects with Pluto and Capricorn. Pluto, of course, being from the underworld, bringing up the truth. Capricorn is all about our governmental structures, our financial structures, rules, business, heading to that goal. It's just, imagine the Capricorn goat climbing that mountain to make it to the top, and he won't stop till he gets there. So it's very, very intense type of energy with Pluto in Capricorn. And I want to talk more about these aspects as I get closer to 2017. I will probably be putting out a special video regarding this, especially now that we have Jupiter squaring Pluto this week. It's just kind of the tipping point of what we're going to expect over the next 8 years. You will hear a lot of astrologers talking about what's going on in the next 4 years till we get to 2020. We have some very hard aspects that are coming up in the next couple of years, which means for us, we're going to see some complete transformation regarding our financial institutions, and it's already started. If you start to look at what's going on with the currencies in India, we're going to see the same type of situations going on in Europe, China, and the United States. And I'm certainly not an expert on these things. All I know is what I am seeing in the planets and what they're telling us. So just kind of some hints and some clues as to what we can expect going into the new year. I do want to wish everybody a very happy and blessed Thanksgiving here in America. I think we all need the togetherness and the enthusiasm and the conversation that we're going to see over this holiday. It's going to be a nice breath of fresh air after all the insanity we have seen during the month of November. So before I end this video, I just want to make all of you aware that we as a collective are entering a higher consciousness. Whether you're feeling it or seeing it or not, you're definitely going to in 2017. It's a good time to be living on planet Earth right now. It really is. We are going to see some changes. We are going to see some serious revolution when it comes to some of our societal issues that we have been experiencing this past year. All that is just going to intensify. But keep in mind, this is all for the good. It's all for the better in the long run. Just lots of changes and lots of adjustments that we're going to have to make. And honestly, they're long overdue. And I'll talk more about that in my next video as we start to go into 2017. So, any of you who would like a private or personal reading, by all means, come to my website at www.treeoflifeastro.com. A 15-minute reading will run you $25. A 30-minute reading will run you $50. I will be announcing when I will start the yearly readings, probably in the next week or two. I hope to have it all up on my website by December. So whatever you do, hit subscribe, like, and share, and get this message out. And in summary, being 2016 has been a pretty tough year. I know it's been tough for me. It's been tough for a lot of folks that I have spoken to. Lots of change, lots of transformation. But right now, we are at a point where we are coming out of the caterpillar stage. We are just starting to poke our head out of that chrysalis, just like a butterfly would. We have our head poking out. We're not quite ready to reach out into the world and fly until we get some more answers and some more clarity. But I promise you, over the next couple of weeks, that's coming. So we got one more week of craziness, and then things start to calm down, and we really start to get into a more enlightened type of energies as we start to end the year of 2016. So thank you to everybody who has dropped by again and who has subscribed to my videos. I appreciate all your fabulous comments. I've gotten quite a few, especially this past week with all this nutty stuff going on. And I will certainly be back in this next week to clue you in as to what we can expect during the first week of December. So meanwhile, I wish all of you lots of love and light, and namaste.